Hi everybody. I wanted to give my 2 cents for what they're worth on Simone Biles with a drawing from the Olympics. Um, Now, for those of you that don't know about Simone Biles, and for those of you that don't know about gymnastics, um, she's one of the best well, she's not one of the best. She's technically the best gymnast of all time. Her skill level is like superhuman. Like, she has 4 skills named after her that nobody can do. She was born with springs in her feet. And she has a lot of haters, naturally, because all successful people do. But up until now, I've defended her. And she has a lot of haters within the Russian community. Because America, in the last 2 decades, has pretty much dominated the sport, and Russia is like the runner-up at every international competition. And the reason why I know a lot about this is because I used to do gymnastics, and I follow it religiously on an international level. But Simone Biles is like the Michael Phelps and the Usain Bolt of artistic gymnastics. Arguably, she's even more innovative than them because she invents skills, and Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps have not. So, anyway, that's the background. Now comes the 2 cents. Simone Biles withdrew from the Olympic Games because of mental health issues. She says that they're mental health issues. And for those of you that don't know about gymnastics, basically what happened was she did a vault. A vault is one of the 4 events in artistic gymnastics. And she was supposed to do 2.5 twists, and she did 1 twist instead of 2.5, and she was lost in the air. And this never happened to her before. I've been following her for 8 years. I've been following the sport. And not only did it never happen to her, it usually doesn't happen to elite gymnasts. They normally don't lose themselves in the air because they're so skilled. They have like a superior vestibular sense in order to be able to balance their weight in the air. And she didn't just lose herself once, she lost herself twice on the warm-up and in the actual competition. And there's a lot of controversy involved in the decision, her personal decision, her unilateral decision to just say, I'm out of the Olympics, I'm not doing this because I don't feel mentally well. And on the one hand, I respect her decision because only you really feel what you feel, and you can't argue against how somebody feels physically or mentally, and she has certain rights to her body. She doesn't have to do anything that she doesn't want to do. And I believe that she has a fundamental right to say no. But, and this is the but, there are problems with the argument as well that I have. First of all, this wasn't an individual competition, it was the team competition. And two of her teammates, actually all three of her teammates, had never been to an Olympic Games, and two of her teammates, probably, considering the depth of the U.S. team, will likely never go to another Olympic Games because USA Gymnastics has a very high level of athleticism and it has a very big talent pool. So if you go to one Olympics, you usually don't go to another one because of the depth of the sport in America. There are exceptions, of course. There are some people that go to two Olympics, but it's rare. I believe that she owed it to her team to see if she could continue. Because if you have some sort of mental barrier in sports, you have to at least try to overcome it. She ended up literally within 5 minutes of missing the vault. She literally ended up just saying, I can't do this, I don't trust myself, goodbye. I believe that a more reasonable approach to the problem would have been to miss the next rotation. And the next rotation was bars, and she's not the best on the U.S. team in bars. And somebody could have replaced her and have gotten pretty much the same score, or a little bit lower than her. And it wouldn't have been such a big loss for Team USA. But on beam and floor, she had the highest difficulty of anybody in the competition, or one of the highest difficulties on the beam, and definitely the highest difficulty on the floor. So she could have added 2.5 marks to the team total. And she knew that. Nobody could compare to her skill level on those two events. And to withdraw would have been to screw the U.S. chances at the gold medal. So the fact that she was very, very, the word is, flippant, or I don't know the exact word I'm looking for, but she was very, she didn't weigh her decision properly, I believe. She didn't weigh the ramifications of her decision. Because if she had, she would have taken pause. She would have probably just skipped bars, gone to a room. This is what she could have done. She could have gone to a room, meditated, and then made the decision to withdraw from the rest of the competition based on how she felt. But she didn't do that. She didn't even give it a chance. And I'm not ruling out the possibility that maybe she has a problem, maybe she has a physical problem with her brain. I don't say that with, judgment. I'm saying that, with concern. For all we know, maybe she has a concussion. Maybe she has a physical injury that she doesn't know about. Maybe, God forbid, she has some sort of, defect in her vestibular apparatus that developed from some sort of growth who knows? We don't have the means to understand why she got lost in the air, and neither does she, and neither does the medical team in the middle of the competition. So if you don't have a functional vestibular apparatus, or if it's undermined in some way, you can't do gymnastics because of the importance of that sense in the sport. It's not the same as running or swimming, because there's more at stake. If you can't balance yourself in the air, you can injure yourself very badly, especially at her level and with her skill set, which is 3 miles above everybody else's. But judging from, as a follower of the sport, and not somebody that just follows the media, and believes whatever the media says, once every 4 years, I believe she should have done more. I believe she should have waited. And it seemed like it could have gone either way for her. It seemed like she just didn't care about the weight of her responsibility under the circumstances. Like, she's like, okay, I went to another Olympics. I already won all these medals. I'm just gonna, put all this burden on the team. And I'm gonna withdraw. And, she seemed very flippant about it. Almost like she took the occasion for granted. And that's not right, because many, many, many athletes have had blocks in their performance at very, very high level competitions. So if, like, Usain Bolt, had all these expectations and, came in second during a semifinal, he needs to regroup and he needs to run anyway. He can't just say, I don't feel like it, like my mental health is not there today. It's like there's an expectation on the part of the athletes, on the part of sport, like the sportsman-like mentality, the championship mentality, that when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and even though this is, just a sport, true sportsmen are tested in their toughest moments, and Simone Biles was never behind in a competition after the vault. It's one of her marquee events of the four. She's the best vaulter of all time, the most consistent vaulter. She's never screwed up a vault, really, in big competitions. She's known for her consistency, and she's known for her difficulty, and her form is superior. Nobody's better than her. Nobody's been better than her over many, many years. There have been gymnasts that have come close to her, within a 2-year period, but not over like 8 or 9 years. She's been the best vaulter in the world. So she's never been behind. So for her to be behind in the vault, is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. She could have embraced the challenge. She should have embraced the challenge, because she's never come from behind. She's never been tested in that way. She's never screwed up a situation and had to dig deep mentally to recalibrate. It's always come easy to her, almost like she has a superhuman ability. So a lot of people are judging her very harshly, but I'm trying to be more balanced and say that she's lacking in mental prowess. She has unbelievable physical prowess, but mental prowess is a part of sport. You have to be able to rise to the occasion. You have to be able to, get over your ego in these sorts of moments and step back and see what you can do. I believe she didn't do that on this occasion. And it revealed, a flaw in her. And I think that the reason why the media is supporting her so vociferously is because of the corporate sponsorship. It's not because they believe that in athletes' mental health. It's because they don't want to look bad. It's a PR campaign. The corporate media needs to make her look good, so the sponsors look good. Because what message would it send if everybody called her a quitter, and Athleta, Nike, Adidas, and whatever other company she sponsors has billboards of her everywhere.